Okay, hello Sasha.
Hi.
Welcome to the Grateful Purpose podcast. You're literally my first guest.
Excited to be your first guest.
So Sasha and I met at a shop closer event back in December, which is crazy. And she is your go-to girl for literally everything fashion, photography, with an icon right now, so don't forget me when you're famous. Diane.
Try. If I ever get famous.
Oh, you will. Oh, I know this girl. So, I'm gonna ask you 4 simple questions today. First of all, introduce yourself. I kind of gave a little intro, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
So, hello everyone. My name is Sasha, and I am a fashion photographer based in New York City. I've worked with different brands from Rebecca Minkoff, Tanner and Fletcher. I don't know, when I have to list them I start forgetting.
Yeah.
And then later I'm just like, oh, I should have also mentioned that. But and even work with like small emerging brands. I work with influencers. I have some background in marketing and social media. So like it took me a while to get to where I am because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So I've learned a lot of different things along the way. I also have a bachelor's and a master's degree in engineering, which is like, that's to make my parents happy more than it is to make me happy. My mom still apologizes to me to this day. She's like, I'm so sorry we didn't let you go to FIT and sent you to get an engineering degree instead. I'm like, Mom, you know what, it's okay, it all worked out. I was like, for all I know, I would have gotten the fashion degree and would have hated the industry because, you know, when you're young in this industry, it might be very tough. So I was like, Mom, just like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, I mean, with the fashion industry, that's literally how we met, and it's a wild world.
It is a wild world.
So second question for you. You know, with like the TikTok ban that's supposedly happening like every year, what would you do tomorrow if there's a TikTok ban on photography? What would be your plan B?
Honestly, if TikTok, like I love TikTok, don't get me wrong. I've been taking a break a little bit from posting just to take care of life, but I love TikTok. I think it's so fun to post on it. But to be completely honest with you, if TikTok got banned tomorrow, I'd be relieved.
Yeah?
Because it's one less platform to create content for.
So true.
And if like for Instagram, yeah, it's time consuming, but creating content for TikTok is so much more time consuming because like it takes so much longer to record a video and to say things the way you want to say them, and to make sure you're also not stretching words out and you're actually talking in an engaging way. Like it takes me 3 takes to record like each part sometimes, and at some point I was just like, I'm not in the mood to do this right now. But also like we were all doing fine before TikTok became a thing.
Yeah.
You get me? It's not like we were sitting there like, oh, there's no way to make it anywhere. Like there's always going to be a platform, and if all social media goes to hell, like there's always Google, there's websites, email marketing, should post flyers on the street, like
exactly.
There's so many ways to do it. Or like tell your friends to tell their friends to like meet people, network. Like
the OG way.
Like yeah, TikTok ban would suck because we lose a form of entertainment, we lose another great way of organic growth and everything, but it really isn't the way like ban of the world.
Yeah.
And I know that I might be upset for a day, but also I'll be relieved for like a couple more days.
Yeah.
And then I'll just continue and I'll find other ways, because people always find the solutions, because you either find the solution or you stop doing what you're doing, and then what's the point?
Yeah. No, exactly. I feel like when Vine went away, TikTok was born. So
yeah,
you never
and before TikTok there was Musical.ly. Do you remember Musical.ly? That was good. All those like when you had to like move the phone and like I tried it and I failed so bad at it. I literally was just like, not my thing. I can't. I don't understand how you guys do this.
I don't know how people do that, but kind of tying into the ban and kind of social media and everything, how do you deal with your mental health on like a day-to-day basis? I know we were just talking before this about everything you're going through. So how do you deal with it?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but
we'll find out.
Bloop it out.
Yeah.
But the key is to not give a shit. Like when they say the Lulu is the Salulu, they are not kidding. Like you gotta just believe in yourself. No, don't be overly confident, don't be cocky, because that's different. But you need to be confident in your abilities, and that if this door doesn't open, then there is a better door for you, and you gotta believe in that.
Yeah.
Because the second you start doubting that, that's when your mental health goes downhill. That's when you start doubting. That's when you start getting upset. That's when you start getting self-conscious. And it's a slippery slope that you literally don't like. The second my mindset goes even a millimeter towards that, I don't want to say I slap myself out of it, but I'm just like, no, like, you know where this is gonna go and how hard it's gonna be for you to pull yourself out of that. So I don't even let myself like move in that direction.
Yeah. And then, yeah, because it's hard, because, you know, sometimes you have to build your way up. So how did you kind of, were you ever in your point of life, were you ever like, oh my gosh, like, I'm really just, your mental health is like shot to shit? How did you get yourself out of there?
When I was getting my engineering degree, I was like, why am I doing any of this when I hate every second of it? And I don't know, like a lot of people, I always hated math. Yes. But then in high school, I had honestly a godsend of a teacher who made math so easy. Like, everything made sense right off the bat. I don't know, I've never met a teacher that good.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I still message you and I was like, you know what, thank you so much for everything you did. I don't do math anymore, but I still remember how good you were of a teacher. Like, I went from barely passing algebra to taking AP Calc, AP Physics, and getting like A's in them. And whenever kids would be like, I don't understand, I'm like, what do you not understand? Like, I was that kid.
Oh my gosh.
Because the way that teacher was teaching me was so good. But because of that, I got a little like cocky, and I went into college thinking, you know what, maybe I got this, you know, maybe math is my thing. So I took some math classes, and then my guidance counselor was, oh, like, you have to find a specialization, and since on your transcript you already have so many math classes, you just have to take 4 more 300 level math courses. And I was just like, I got this. It was the most miserable time of my life. Those 300 level algebra course is not what you think it is. It's like, it's like, I don't remember what it was, but it was like numbers that don't exist, numbers that behave like not real numbers. And I'm like, isn't math like an exact science? What do you mean these numbers that don't exist, and 1 plus 1 is not 2? No. I was like, I thought this is algebra. Like, it was the biggest like trick of my life, where I signed up for a class thinking it's gonna be easy, and it wasn't. And I remember sitting in an exam, and I was just like, and I studied like 3 nights in a row. Yeah. Like, I was just full all-nighters studying. I was like, I need to pass this class because I need to graduate. And I remember opening the exam, and I'm like, I literally don't understand what's going on. And I look around, and I was like, am I the only one? And kids are there like,
like they got their shit.
They're like writing like essays in it, and I'm like, everything I've studied is not on here. Like, there's no way. So I just like, I switched to statistics, because I'm like, okay, statistics makes a little more sense. It's just formulas as long as you plug them in correctly. And I like went and cried to the professors. I was like, please, like, let me graduate. I was like, I promise you, I will never use this in real life. You're not putting the world at risk. Just let me pass this class. Please let me leave. And it was on Christmas too. And I was like, please, I believe in Christmas miracle. Please bring it for me.
Please let me pass.
And they wouldn't post the grades until after Christmas. So every day I had like this anxiety of like, am I gonna graduate, or am I like, and I like didn't have the money to pay for another semester. So I was just like, I'm either really fucked or I'm clear.
Yeah.
And I see the grade, and he gave me a C+ to make sure I pass. And I'm like, hey,
that is a Christmas miracle.
And I was emailing him. I was like, I don't know what happened, because I didn't want to like put him on the spot where there's email proof of me saying thank you so much for like scooching my grade.
Yeah. No,
but I was like, but like, thank you so much for this semester. I really appreciate everything you've done for me. Never got a response, but I'm like, I did my part. I don't need a response. I got my grade.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
So like, but during that time, I was like at my lowest, sleep all day type of thing. Like, don't have interest in doing anything. Yeah. What's the point of the future? Like, I was completely in such a dark space. Yeah. And then I thought, okay, I graduated bachelor's degree. Like, I'm gonna go, and my parents were like, what are you gonna do without a master's degree? And I was just like, Mama, you can't be serious. She's like, no, you need a master's degree. You know, like those like old school parents who are like, you need to be an engineer, a lawyer, doctor. They're also the ones who are like, you need to have a master's degree. Wow. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go within the same school, within the same, like, because I know the professor, and it's easier for me to get in, because then there's also pressure of getting in or not getting in, paying for applications. And I was like, well, I'm not in the mindset to like, literally signing up myself for this, knowing what I'm signing up for. And I got into the master's program, and they're like, oh, we'll pay for it if you work for us. And I'm just like, what's the work? And they're like, so we have this research project where we're looking at people's patterns of how they recycle and how contaminated the recycling is, and how what people put in the trash that's supposed to be recycling. And I'm just like, suspicious. Can you tell me exactly what my job would be? It's like, oh yeah, all the graduate students go and sort trash, and like we keep track, like we weigh everything. And I was just like, bro, but they're paying me and they're covering my masters. I'm just like, fuck it.
Yeah,
Fuck it. Because they're like, we give you all the like protective gear, and I was like, and I'm not the only one. You get me? My whole cohort would be doing this, and I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I would be the odd one out if I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, since we're all in this little garbage, we might as well be together.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's like an angel watching over me, because that's when Corona started.
Oh wow, the timing.
And we all said, we're not doing anything because Corona.
Yeah.
Like, because we don't know what's in the trash, like needles, tissues, whatever.
Yeah.
So I went once, and I was very like, I was that bitch where I was just like,
You're like, ew. Me?
I need to go to the bathroom, guys, sorry. Like, you get me? Like, I was very like, I don't want to touch this, and they saw it and they all got annoyed, but I'm just like, I don't care. Like, think of me as like, but I don't want to do this.
No, absolutely. You have your boundaries.
Yeah,
for
sure. I was like, there's only so low I can go.
Yeah.
And this is pushing it.
Trashy.
Like, no, but then Corona started, and I was just like, I'm not going to touch it. Everybody was like, yo, but we're not either.
Yeah.
And so I just have to read some papers and write like summaries for them, and I was like, but I'll do that.
That's better than touching trash.
And because I didn't have to go to work and the classes were online, I started having so much free time, and I was like, you know what? If there's any time for me to try things that I want to actually do, it's now, because I have a backup income.
Yeah.
I can do the work in between my the work that I want to do.
Yeah.
And the classes are easy because they're remote and nobody knows how to do remote classes, so everything is like free pass basically.
Yeah.
And that's when my life changed for me.
Yeah.
Like,
That's amazing.
Corona was a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
But you see, like, I could have been at home being like sadder, but I was like, no, like, I chose. I was like, I'm taking this risk. I'm trying to change my life.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Honestly, I think that's what COVID taught a lot of us. We all took just like risks, I feel like.
And do what you can with what you got.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of the mindset you have to pull yourself out of like the trash.
Literally.
Just pull yourself out of that rut. And then final question. So my whole purpose of Grateful Purpose, you know, I went through my whole family getting COVID, all the things, and I figured that my, you know, purpose in life is really to create content, have people like you show into the world and showcase how amazing you are and how hardworking you are. So what do you think your grateful purpose in life is? Like, what is it that you're like, okay, this makes me want to like stay alive really, and like, you know, just feel alive?
I've recently realized that I love helping people, which, like, I was growing up as a single, like, as an only child. I like went to a boarding school, so it was very like, no, this is my stuff, this is your stuff, and like, you get me, like, everybody like drew their boundaries. But recently I realized that like it brings me so much joy when someone says, hey, thank you so much for like helping me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wait, like,
Yeah.
I literally got nothing from this other than this thank you. And the amount of like fulfillment it gave me
Yeah.
was like unmatched, like better and bigger than any paycheck I've ever got.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, paycheck's great, but then I go to Sephora that big out of the window.
Store sales next week. I will be there.
I can never wait around for the Sephora next week. Because I wait, and then I really want to get something. Like, I literally just went to Sephora a couple of days ago, and I was like, I can't wait anymore.
No, you can't wait. No,
I'm just like, and it was like $3 off, and I'm really not going to make or break my, like, everything. So.
Absolutely not, no.
But yeah, and that's how the whole broadcast channel started that I have, because I was like, you know what, like, I see all these opportunities.
Yeah.
People say that there's nothing out there, but I'm like, but they are.
There are, you just have to know.
And I'm just like, and I started sending them, and then people started sending me more, and they're like, hey, this is for your broadcast channel.
Yeah.
So like seeing that, also I'm not the only one that's open to sharing those opportunities,
Yes.
because people are starting to understand, especially in a city like in New York City, there is enough of opportunities for every single person.
Yes.
As long as you're willing to try, and if you hear a no, it doesn't mean that everybody is so bad and you're so amazing. Maybe you need to change something. Maybe
Yeah.
you need to change your pitch. Maybe your portfolio is not up to par yet. Maybe you didn't impress them as a person, where they want someone who they're really like, I don't know, not easygoing even, but someone they click with, but
Yeah.
they didn't click with you. Like, it's not because you're bad. It's
No.
just you two are different people.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, it's just like every time I see someone, like a random person sending me, hey, this is for your broadcast channel, I'm just like, good looks.
Yeah, because it's hard out here, and even before your broadcast channel, that's how I met Sasha. Is like, I saw your TikTok, and then we started talking about the shop closer event, and then I kind of did a little interning content creation for Jersey, and we met there, and you've been helping people even before the broadcast channel, but now it's like, people just wanting to help people is really rare to find, especially in New York City, especially like anywhere nowadays, for like different opportunities. And like you said, it's like, for me, I had no fashion experience whatsoever, and
Neither do I.
but,
I mean, I've been like interested in it.
Yeah.
But like, I was attending like different exhibitions since I was a
Yes.
kid, and my grandma was a costume designer for theater, so like I was
Yeah.
always exposed to it a little bit.
Yeah.
But background, practically zero.
Yeah,
Like,
but,
I learn as I go.
and I think that is a key point, is like learning as you go is just the way to grow, really, because it's like, I don't even know how I got to the LaPont show, but it was like I saw things on your broadcast channel and I just started emailing these people, never got a response back, and then all of a sudden they're like, here's your invite. I'm like, and it's
Everything, and also everything is very last minute.
it really is.
And like, you'd be surprised. And even like when I'm like on the inside where I can't make the change for it to not be last minute,
Yeah.
things don't work out until the actual deadline, where you're like, okay,
Absolutely.
things keep changing, and because you feel like you have more time, you're like, we can change it, like, oh,
Yeah.
let's change it, even though we don't need to, but like,
but still.
but let's just do it a little better. And then
Yeah, and you will try, but it's like, and it's crazy, because I was literally messaging you, how do I get into that one, how do you say it, Starlight Leah building, or it's
Starlight High.
Starlight, yeah, that, I cannot pronounce it. It's so funny, I literally was like, Sasha, how do I get into here? And then all of a sudden, my friend Jules had her little book launch there, and we were around millions of Birkins, and I miss it. That Fashion Pile was the funnest place, and it's like, it's crazy, like all like the opportunities that you've helped me get to, and you're just such a good person. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you as like my first guest. And I feel like I've just seen you through the months too, just like everything's growing, like the channel, people, and connecting people too. I think that's like the beauty of social media. And like, I don't know, that's I feel like we have similar grateful purposes.
no, I'm definitely realizing that like nothing matters other than your perspective of life. The way you will see life, that's how life is going to treat you. Because I was in a place where I was just like, everybody sucks.
Yes.
Everything sucks.
Yeah.
And everything sucked.
Yeah, it did.
And the second I was like, you know what? Like, I literally remember the moment where I was like, but what if it doesn't?
Yeah.
And I decided to wait. I literally was like, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to say, everything is going to be good today.
Yeah.
I like set my mind
Yeah.
on that perspective. And it wasn't like an overnight switch, like,
No.
and I was like literally celebrating the tiniest wins.
Yeah.
Like the tiniest win, I was just like, oh, I don't know, like, I don't know, I can't even, because they were so tiny, like they were like unmeaningful completely, but I made them meaningful in the moment, because I was like, I need these little wins right now.
Yeah.
And it just started snowballing, and then next thing I knew, I was just like, everything's kind of okay,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it could be better. It always can be better. I can always have more money. I can always live in a bigger apartment. I can always have more houses. I can, like, I can always have a dog.
Right, we all want dogs.
But things are not really that bad.
No, exactly. I think you can, like you said, you can either look at everything like, oh, everybody sucks, or you could be like, you know what, I'm just going to remove myself from those sucky people. I'll go change my life. And that's literally what I did. When I saw your opportunities, just for even shop closer, I was like, I've never been in the Soho House before. And I was like, wow. And I met you. I met like a girl who lived from like London, and then all like the designers from all over the world. And you get to just meet other people. And I think that's super important. And that's why I'm going to be starting my serotonin Saturdays, for people to come meet people like you and just like Jules and so many other just amazing people. And we can just spread that positivity, because it's hard these days.
No, it really is hard. Like, sometimes
so
I,
hard.
like, catch myself and I'm just like,
Yeah.
especially, like, on those bad days, like, for example, yesterday.
Yes.
But I'm like, my car. And I like called my sister-in-law and I was just like, dude, she's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, what else am I gonna do? You want me to cry here next to the tow truck driver just
Literally on
because
the
I'm in
bridge,
the...
oh my god.
No, I'm talking about my car. I'm just going home on the highway and bam, my car just off. My car just literally turns off. I try to jump it. The second I disconnect the battery pack, it dies on me again, and I'm just like, okay. And you know what surprised me? Not one person. I sat there for at least an hour waiting for the tow truck. Not one person stopped and asked if I need help.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, don't get me wrong, like, don't worry about it. Like, I'm an independent person. Like, I'm a grown-ass woman. Like, I can take care of myself.
Yeah.
But just a nice, like, hey, do you need anything? Like,
yeah.
I'll be like, no, don't worry about it. Like, go. I understand it's Easter Sunday and everything,
Oh
but...
my god, I forgot yesterday was Easter.
Yeah, no, it was like, so I'm like, I don't blame them, but at the same time, like,
Nobody has compassion these days. I feel like even I was walking on the street when I was on my way over here, somebody slipped and fell. I asked if they were okay, and she asked, "You're not from New York?" And I was like, "Yes, sis, I'm not." But it's that compassion that I think people don't have, and that's why I'm like, we need these little like bursts of like happiness and things like that. So that's why like with my serotonin Saturdays, just getting together on like a night. Hopefully it's not
doing like
raining
a good thing.
Yes, like you said.
Like a small gesture. Like, I don't know, a couple of months ago, I like was like coming home from work and I was just like, I was such in a good mood. I was like in your client and I was like, hey, like that was the moment when I was like, I'm growing. You get me? I just got the biggest client like I've ever had before. And I was just walking and those like little like stands where they sell fruits and vegetables and they dropped a peach. And I was like, oh, peach. And I like handed it back to them.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and he was like, you can keep it. Because he was like, everything falls all the time, but no one ever picks it up. But it like fell, and I was like, why wouldn't I pick it up? It's a second for me, but for him, he has to come out from behind the stand. He has to.
That's his job, like his inventory. Yeah, it's like little acts of kindness. It's how you said, like rewarding yourself when you like have those little wins. It's like a big deal. You have to make it a big deal. Otherwise, it's not like every day you're doing like the biggest things, but those little wins
they matter.
They matter, and that changes your daily mental health. And I think that's kind of for me, like when I realized I started like accomplishing more and more, even the little wins, that made my mental health just like go from being in such a bad place to now I'm like, I'm starting a mental health podcast. I'm like just surrounding myself around better people, moving on with life, and
good vibes only.
All the good vibes, honestly, and that's all we need, especially in this gloomy weather in New York City.
You don't know weather today. It's not giving.
It's really gross out. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on the Grateful Purpose podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I loved having you on, my first guest. Literally, you were like my first real friend in New York, honestly. Like, literally my first actual real fashion event and everything at just these things. So
I'm happy to be one of your first.
Oh my god, yes ma'am. You're gonna be my first, serotonin Saturday and everything, and it's gonna be fun.
Looking forward
Thank you for coming on, and I loved having you on. Alright, bye guys.
Bye.